G'day Bomber fans, we have a bye this round obviously, which means not a lot to talk about, but I figured why not use this opportunity this quiet week to discuss the players and how they are all going, and what better way to do so than by putting my teacher's hat on and grading them all on their year so far high school style. Now this obviously could ruffle some feathers. I don't mean to be overly critical or anything, it's just a bit of fun. If your favourite player has a bad score, it's not because I dislike them, it's probably more so because of how high I view them and the expectations I hold them to. So here goes ratings time. Andy McGrath, we are seeing our #1 draft pick where he should be. I love this guy off halfback. He does have all the makings of a star mid, that burst of speed out of trouble, the decision making, but he just seems more comfortable in defence, which is where I like him most. He has played every game this year, captained Anzac Day, and he's just so consistent. Lowest disposal tally is just 18 this year, so B+ for Andy. Now Brad Scott came out recently and spoke about Sam Draper nursing a hip injury, which makes sense looking at his past performances. We have seen his consistency and game-changing ability drop a bit from early in the year. He had that incredible game against Melbourne, but since then he hasn't been what we want him to be as that bullocking ruck, so I'm giving him a C-. He is a bloody good ruck at his best, I just wish he showed it every week. Darcy Parish has to get at least an A-. He was in All-Australian contention until his unfortunate injury. Hopefully after the bye he recaptures that form, because he was leading the comp for clearances, I'm fairly sure. He only really gets an A- because he hasn't played in a while, I guess. Kyle Langford gets an A+. This guy made the loss of Peter Wright a non-issue really. He started the year in defence and was great against the Hawks and turned into a key forward of sorts to good effect. He is our leading goal scorer and goal assister. He is so reliable, he uses his body in one-on-one contests so well. Such a handy player for us now. Mr. Fix-It gets the top grade you can get. Another Mr. Fix-It type player is Jye Caldwell. He was honoured early in the year by critics for his excellent impact to disposal ratio, and when injuries mounted he became a full-time mid in the engine room and won plenty of his own ball. His best game coming recently against the Blues. I give him a B+. He is really underrated for us. Not a lot I need to say about our captain. He is having a Brownlow-worthy year. I think he is 4th or 5th in the coaches' votes. I give him an A+. Just a terrific player and a terrific captain. Ben Hobbs, he had a rough start to the year, couldn't find his way into the team after his early injury, but now he has given Scott some headaches because you can't get rid of him with players coming back. He is awesome, showing so much more than he did last year. He is really mature for his age in the guts. I love the guy. B+. I think there are some things he can fix up, but he's only young, showing plenty to like. Dylan Shiel, I'm going to give him a C-. Similar to Draper, we saw him rip open games early in the year. He had some blinders, but his foot has clearly bothered him. It's kept him out of the side and hindered his performances when he is in the side. I hope he comes back 100% fit after the bye, because when he is 100% fit, he is a very good footy player. Sam Weideman, I think we often forget how hard his role has been this year without Peter Wright. Every week he has faced the best key defenders, often 2 at a time because our forward line is so small, and he has still kicked 13 or 14 goals. I give him a C+. I reckon we'll see him thrive more now that the pressure is off with Wright back. Will Snelling has been so good since coming back into the team. He forced his way back through great VFL performances. It's like that 2021 form which saw him finish 3rd in the Crichton, I believe. We have great pressure forward stocks, so wouldn't be surprised if he is forced in and out a few more times, but you can trust him to play his role and play it well when he is in the side. B for Snelling. Will Setterfield's injury was an unfortunate one because he was playing pretty well. His first 3 or 4 games in particular I thought were great. He was really solid, helped us a lot for height in the guts. It's going to be hard for him to force his way back in the team after the bye though. Jordan Ridley, he gets an A. It's always an A. He is just as reliable a player as you can possibly ask for. It's sad how underrated he is in the league. He is just so composed and so clean. He is one of the most consistent, solid players to have played for us in the last decade or so. You just gotta love his work. Another consistent performer is Jayden Lavere. You see how much he has missed when he's out of the side. That Geelong game in particular, most of his work goes unnoticed and you can see without him. I give him a B+, just another good year for Doss. Keep up the good work. Archie Perkins has been pretty good, B-. I think we all expected him to break out after that game against Hawthorn, but it hasn't exactly gone that way. He has been really impactful with the footy he gets, reliable in front of goal, played every game. I just want to see him around the footy more because it's good whenever he has it. Nic Hind has had a strange year. He seemed out of the side early, was in the VFL, played as a sub, but in the last few rounds he has really cemented his spot. He makes some mistakes in defence, but is reliable one-on-one. It's between him and Jake Kelly for spots, which is good because they both play their role really well. I'll give him a C+. He gets a pass without setting the world alight. Peter Wright has only played 1 game, kicked 5 goals, so he gets an A just for that game. Not really much to talk about. He's been injured all year. Dyson Heppell, our former captain, has been proving the haters wrong. The guy has hit his best in the last month or so after facing the drop. You got to respect the grind from our former captain. He gives us all each week. He's really courageous, really solid, really smart with his positioning as well, whether it's on the wing or in defence. He is quietly putting together a really underrated underrated year. I'll give him a B+. Sam Durham is another underrated one. His defensive wing work is a standout. He is such a hard worker and gutsy player. He is always back helping in defense. I think the thing he doesn't have on Martin on the other wing is his attacking ability, but even then there are glimpses like that last quarter against Richmond on Dreamtime, so I'm going to give a B+ for Does. Harry Jones, what a disappointing year all things considered. This was a fantastic chance for him to solidify his spot as the main key forward with Wright out injured, but he struggled from the get-go, and to add insult to injury, he then suffered an injury. He earns a D. It's a tough one for Jones. I just want to see him reach his potential. Nic Bryan is probably the unluckiest player on our list. He dominates the VFL every week, but has only played one game this season. It's hard for him to find consistent AFL form if he never plays. It was an alright performance against West Coast, but not good enough to warrant a second outing, unfortunately. He gets a C-. Jake Stringer hasn't been at his game-changing all-Australian package-based best, but his team-first attitude is something we haven't really seen as a fan base before. His forward pressure is probably the best it's been and the best in our team. He does the little things he wouldn't have done in the past. I really like what he brings to the club now. He has developed even more as a teammate, B-. Kaine Baldwin was moved into defence early in the year, called into the side to play in an injury-depleted backline and did his job. I think we need to be heaping more praise on him for helping us out the way he did back there. He was really solid despite only being a first-year defender pretty much, so I'm going to give him a B. Mason Redman is in all-Australian form in defence. We all want him to stay in the red and black. He gets an A+. Like Merrett and Langford, there is not much that needs to be said. Just a terrific player for us and the league. Jay Kelly has had a tough year. He was really solid early. He was fantastic against St Kilda from memory, and then he had a lengthy concussion which saw him demoted because the replacement players have been really good, so now he is in limbo as an emergency, not playing VFL, not playing AFL. He gets a C+. Brandon Zerk-Thatcher about a month or two ago would have been in the B range, but we've seen him waver in form a bit. He loses quite a few one-on-one contests, probably too many I would say. He is up there in the most losses for the league. He clearly has a long way to go to still be near that elite or even top echelon of key backs, but it's still been an alright year for the guy, so I'm going to give him a C+. Alwyn Davey Jr has been pretty good in his debut year. He is still really skinny, really small, so he gets bullied a bit, but the glimpses are there. He is so slick and clever with ball in hand. I'm keen to see more of him either in the VFL or AFL. He gets a pass. Andrew Phillips has been really important to our success. Our joint ruck game is a big reason we get on top of teams. He has had some really great games. GWS and Melbourne spring to mind. He does go missing a bit sometimes, which is why he gets a C, but still a good serviceable year. Matt Guelfi in the team, you just love to see it. His energy in that forward line is unmatched. If he was fit all year, you would say he was a Crichton podium contender again, because his form is better than that in 2022 if anything, but he has been injured, so he gets a B. Nic Martin, everybody's favourite player in 2023. How good is this guy? We got this bloke for a packet of chips and a Coke. Dodoro aced it here. This probably has kept him in the job, if anything. It's an inspired pickup. He is one of our most important players on that wing. A+ for a second-year player in all-Australian form. Massimo D'Ambrosio has played a role for us. He is our super sub. I think he's been subbed on the game 5 or 6 times, probably up there with the most in the comp. It's his role now. He is very good at it. He was the game winner against North with that goal. It's unfortunate for the guy, but he impacts the game in patches, so you can't justify starting him. I'm going to give him a B-. Waller has had a rough year, not rough as in bad. We expected him to be unfit and underdone, but it's just been a grueling one. He has played more than I expected up until this stage, not always well though, shown by the fact he is back in the VFL, but he is building fitness, building confidence. He gets a D+, but really it's incredible just to have him back, so we're all happy with him. And finally, Jye Menzie, our pressure forward, B for Jye. He kicks goals regularly, provides intense pressure. He is a very good player to have in the team at such a young age. He's already a first team player, to be honest. He has played in almost every game so far, so B for him. So that is that. Mid-season player ratings done. Again, I'm not trying to be mean to certain players. I want nothing but the best from every player in the team. Their rating isn't an indication of my feelings towards them. It's more so how high I view them and the expectations I have. But that is that. Video done. Like if you enjoyed and subscribe to see more like it, and also some quick Manscaped info. Bomber fans, I rate Manscaped an A++. That's right, better than Zach Merrett. You heard it here. So why not see what the fuss is about by heading over to manscaped.com, having a suss around, and if you like what you see, you can buy whatever the bloody hell you want and use my discount code EverythingEssendon20 to save 20% off, plus free shipping. Cheers, Dons fans.